The GOP presidential nominee making his third campaign stop in Colorado. Those 9 electoral votes in Colorado so precious to both campaigns. And this stop coming just 9 days before that pivotal first presidential debate, one-on-one between Trump and Clinton. That is not the case. Just today, I got an inside look at what happens when you mail that ballot or drop it off right in here.
She's ineffective. She's been there for 30 years, and nothing happened. And this country needs change.
Experience than you do at the political level.
Well, in the meantime, I'm beating her.
Many of us are either going to be getting ballots this week, or some of us already have their ballots, and some have already returned their ballots. So indeed, it may be too late in the final weeks of this campaign. I spoke very briefly tonight for just a couple of moments with Patrick Davis, the Trump campaign state director. He told me, we may have lost this battle here in Colorado, but we are going to win the war. The latest poll has Clinton leading Trump here by 14 points. But Mook says volunteers and supporters can't get complacent because he believes our swing state will be much closer than the numbers currently show. And I wonder what you say to the swing voter out there in Colorado, in maybe the Denver suburbs, even in El Paso County or another state, who says, I can't vote for Secretary Clinton because I can't trust her. I can buy a bottle of Colorado craft beers in 42 states on these aisles, but in their home state, I can't. I tried really hard to find some funny, unique, politically themed pair of socks. But then I remembered, I have to stay neutral. The big swing county, one to watch tomorrow night, is Jefferson County in the Denver suburbs. President Obama carried it 4 years ago, 51-46. He won the state 4 Novembers ago by the same margin. This is the second stop for both halves of the GOP ticket in just 5 days. So we wanted to find out if Colorado voters know that this practice, this election season, is a big no-no. In fact, it's illegal if your ballot is already filled out. Clinton really going after Trump for much of that speech today. She says that her opponent is running a, quote, scorched earth campaign. The First Lady saying today on the trail in New Hampshire to, quote, dismiss this as locker room talk is an insult to decent men everywhere. The governor took to Twitter, quoting Maya Angelou, saying, when a person shows you who they are, believe them. One woman was a Democrat who voted for Trump. The other, a Colorado delegate to the DNC who saw Clinton accept the nomination this July in Philadelphia. And now this 70-year-old wonders if she'll see another woman get so close. With tears in her eyes, Judy Ingolito says her sadness is raw.
I really thought we would be making history here and having our first woman president, which has been so long overdue. We still have not been able to overcome that prejudice.
Joan Lucia Treese's vote went the other way. She was once a Democrat, but concerns about Clinton's emails and the trust factor lingered all the way to the ballot box.
The personal server, the classified documents, mishandling was deeply troubling to me.
Lucia Treese is a few years younger than Clinton and remains optimistic she'll witness that historic night in her lifetime.
What women like me said, you're not the woman, Mrs. Clinton, to be president.
For Ingolito, Clinton was the only woman. Ingolito now starts a grieving process of her own. She says Clinton's loss to Trump especially stings because she believes this election proves character doesn't matter anymore.
I honestly do have some concerns, and my biggest is that there's so many people in our country that would choose this man to represent us. And my biggest fear about that is that he's impulsive, he's a braggart, he's a bully.
And in the face of defeat, Clinton asks her dejected supporters to keep reaching.
I know we have still not shattered that highest and hardest glass ceiling, but someday someone will, and hopefully sooner than we might think right now.
But these two prove the largest voting bloc in this country remains divided. And Clinton, Colorado director, a millennial, Emmy Ruiz, tweeted last night, "Went to bed knowing my team and I did everything we could. Woke up knowing the same. Sad, but above all grateful and proud to have been a part." We are live tonight in the Springs. Eric Fink, KRDO News Channel 13. Mr. Trump, how did we get here? It's now one-on-one, you and Hillary Clinton.
It's very exciting. It's really exciting. People are tired in this country of what's been taking place, whether it's ISIS or the borders or the high taxes, the regulation, which is just killing our businesses and killing jobs all over the place, losing our companies to Mexico and to other places. And they really want to see something happen. So we're leading in the polls. We're doing great in Colorado. I think we're going to do really well here. I'm here a lot. I have so many friends in Colorado. I understand Colorado.
In this military community, I asked about what he plans to do for the booming veteran population. What will a vote for you? How will a vote for you make a veteran, help a veteran, make a veteran feel better about themselves and their life and their families?
So the veterans are for me almost 100%. The veterans and I have bonded like probably no other group other than maybe the police. And what's happened with the veterans and what's happening with the veterans is we are going to provide proper veteran care. Veterans are taken care of so badly by our country. They're like the forgotten people.
Today's visit to UCCS was his second in the campaign to this battleground state. Hillary Clinton has been here 5 times. You're promising to build a wall on the Mexican border. Mr. Trump, how is that going to play with Colorado voters, especially the growing number of Hispanics we have here who are showing up at the polls?
I'm doing really well with Hispanics, with people that are living here legally, because they want, in fact, if you look at the polls, I'm doing very well with Hispanics in the polls. I have thousands of Hispanics that have worked for me over the years, thousands, tens of thousands that have worked for me over the years, and they're phenomenal people, but they don't want to lose their jobs. They want new jobs, and they want good jobs, and they want high-paying jobs.
On his temperament, which Hillary went after in her DNC acceptance speech.
A man you can bait with a tweet is not a man we can trust with nuclear weapons.
I think I have one of the great temperaments of all time, but I have a temperament to win. She doesn't have a temperament to win. She doesn't know how to win. She's weak. She's ineffective. She's been there for 30 years. And nothing happened. And this country needs change.
Experience than you do at the political level.
Well, in the meantime, I'm beating her. She spent hundreds of millions of dollars on ads. She's spending money like crazy. And I'm leading. And I'm holding my money until the end. Just so you understand, she is going to set this country so far back if she ever won. This country will never recover from 4 more years of Obama. And all she is 4 more years of Obama.
Both campaigns call our state and its precious 9 electoral votes a must-win in November. Any idea when we'll see you back here?
I'll be back a lot. I'll be in Colorado a lot. Colorado, again, it's a state that I love. I'm here a lot anyway, regardless of this. I'll be spending a lot of time campaigning in Colorado.
Mr. Trump, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that was only part of our interview. For the rest, including an excerpt about defeating ISIS, head over to our website, krdo.com. I also asked about what he can do to win over Republicans who aren't quite sold on him just yet. A homecoming, 75 years in the making. John England was a naval officer aboard the USS Oklahoma in World War II. He died in the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. His remains unidentified. His parents unable to properly grieve. Bethany Glenn is England's granddaughter.
My great-grandparents didn't have anything returned. They had no place to really mourn him. I think their whole mourning process was kind of disrupted because they didn't have a place to go mourn or a body to bury or anything. So for our family, it's just a real beautiful sense of closure that's been needed for 75 years.
England's remains were identified a few years after the war through dental records, but it wasn't until last year the family, through DNA testing, got a positive match, which allowed England to come back home and be buried right here
Here's wishing you a happy voyage home.
Family, naval officers, and veterans paying respects and expressing gratitude for this young man's service and sacrifice, finally honored in tribute.
My grandparents, they would be so ecstatic to have him here. I guess I'm feeling what I believe they would feel, is that this is just so wonderful to bring him home.
After years of wonder and uncertainty, Glenn says she's at peace, getting some closure.
It's indescribable, it really is. You know, I never knew my grandfather, so I can't even imagine what his parents and his sister went through. I just know what my mom went through. It's a wonderful feeling to put them together.
A family torn apart by war, only generations later to be reunited, together once more. Eric Fink, KRDO News Channel 13.